Welcome to Finding Alara, a safe space where authors, artists, and creatives share their world-building style and mindfulness tactics. Brought to you by Bushlane Castle Productions, a micro-publisher with an author support platform that nurtures creative growth and storytelling excellence. Welcome to the Indie Author Book Fair Minisode series. All of these interviews were recorded as a live stream from the Indie Author Book Fair on the 30th of November 2025 in Bunbury. Each minisode will have the live interview component with myself or Paul Vandermeer from Forest.chat, an additional conversation that the author had with Chris Ilsley at the event, and an excerpt from one of their creative works, which may just inspire you to have a closer look at what is available in the indie book world. I hope that you enjoy these little chats. I will come back at the end and share my key takeaways and let you know who the next guest is going to be. Interview 2 of 27 is Nicole Bazley. Nicole Bazley is a pen name created to gain the confidence to publish her first book, Return to Sender. Her real-life alter ego was holding it hostage for 10 years until Nicole took the stage. She is the creative author who has so many love stories to tell. Behind the mask, this writer loves the beach, family, being outdoors and staying active. She's always been a book lover and will read almost anything. Her favourite authors are Jodi Picoult and Lee Child, but Jack Reacher is always on hand as a backup. She could read those stories on repeat. She's always loved to write poems, songs and little stories, favouring contemporary romance. She's inspired by real-life narratives that will have you free-falling. Her first book, Return to Sender, has the hook, "How can I choose between the past that broke me and the man who put me back together? Does fate ever really give you a choice?" Her second book, Love in the After, which will be released on the 18th of January 2026, has the hook, "When the past holds your heart, can the future still have your soul?" Nicole's books are available on Amazon and the links are in the show notes. We have done our best to clean up the audio for the interviews, but it was recorded live, so there are limitations on the quality we can produce. I hope that you enjoy.
Nicole Bazley. Nicole Bazley is right here, so let's have a chat to Nicole.
Hello.
Nicole, tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been on the creative journey.
Okay, well, my name's Nicole. I have always been a reader, so I've always loved reading. I've always loved writing like little stories, poems, songs, but I never really thought I would do anything with it. I started writing my first book, Return to Sender, about 10 years ago, and I never actually intended to publish it. The inspo was from a dream that I had. I was going through this phase where I was writing down my dreams in a journal. So I started writing the dream down and then I just couldn't stop. I wrote it down, I wrote half the story, and then I never looked at it again for about 8 years. And then, funnily enough, when I was pregnant with my first child, this is the longest story ever. I went to this psychic and she brought up the fact that I'd written this story, and she said so many things that blew my mind, and she said to me, "You need to finish the book and you need to self-publish it." And so I went home and I opened up what I'd written and I finished the story. It took me about another 4 years to finish. Still wasn't going to do anything with it, and then my husband kind of just convinced me to publish it, and here we are.
Oh wow, fantastic.
So that is,
and it's looking really good too. Can we grab a copy of that there and show everybody?
That's the hardcover. I did 2 covers because I'm a bit of a sucker for people on the cover, like the old Mills and Boons, where they're like,
oh yeah,
I just love them.
good.
So I really wanted people on the cover, but I have to say I do love this cover, and this has been far more popular. People love the discreet, the object covers. So
A little bit of A/B testing there.
Yes.
You've got trying out both things.
that's true, yeah.
Now the next question, 5 words that describe you as a writer, I guess.
As a writer, I suppose my stories, I would think they're quite emotional, emotionally driven, raw. I would say love, that is always a theme. Romance, how many's that? Spicy, let's add that in there, a little bit spicy.
Excellent.
That's it, yep.
So the next question. We've talked about what drew you to write in this genre, but that's
Yeah.
really been your life driver, hasn't it, for writing?
Yeah, so I've always loved reading, and I'll read pretty much anything. I've always loved the romance genre, and yeah, I suppose that's just what kind of drew me to it, that dream. And I do love the romance genre. I love being taken away to a fictional story. Yeah, I love a happy ever after. If it doesn't end happily, I don't want it.
Fantastic. Some writers here then who have quite different perspectives on how that works out.
Yeah,
so
very
it'll be interesting
true.
to talk to them later on as well. So the other thing we wanted to ask is, when you chose indie publishing, did you know just what it would take? And did
No
you use...
clue. I had no idea what was involved. I had no idea how hard it was going to be, how expensive it can be as well. Yeah, I had no clue what was involved. I did use, for my first book, a self-publishing company to help me, and she was fantastic. They were based in Canada, but yeah, they did help with all the editing and helping to kind of find my way in putting it on Amazon and what I needed to do. So that was hugely helpful, but yeah, I had no idea what was involved.
Right. The writing almost seems to be the easy bit.
It really is. That is the easy part. The coming up with the stories and the ideas and writing is the fun part, and then marketing and all the other things that you need to learn, definitely the hard part.
There's a lot more. So you got sucked in by the romance, so to speak.
I got lured in down the rabbit hole of the happily ever after, and yeah.
And has the journey been worthwhile?
Absolutely. It's been lots of fun. I've met some really incredible people. I've had lots of fun with it. So yeah, I love it.
Excellent. And you've done some amazing product and demonstration here.
Thank you.
The quality of what you're presenting is right up there. So that's really great to see as well.
Yep.
Excellent. If someone else was going to be starting off writing, what are 3 tips you would give them?
Just do it. That's the first tip, and the most important tip, I think. To not let fear hold me back from publishing this book for a very long time. So I think just do it. Just meet people, get out there, do events like this. It's quite daunting and scary to do things like this, but I've honestly found this community of indie authors to be so incredibly welcoming and so much fun. So just meeting different authors and immersing yourself in it all is such an important thing, I think.
Yeah.
So
the room here is packed with people that are doing very similar things.
Yeah.
So it's quite a good environment.
Yeah,
to be
it's
in.
incredible. I've met so many of the other authors here at other events, and we've so supportive, and we've started little group chats to all help each other and passing tips and tricks with each other. So it's actually been an incredibly supportive community, and even the readers as well. I found so many of the readers are so supportive to indie authors. So it's been a really fun learning curve.
Fantastic. Yeah. So you've got Return to Sender.
Yep.
That's your first book and your only one so far.
Yes. Yep.
Is there something coming?
There is. There is Love in the After. So this is coming out. Its release date is the 18th of January. And we're actually having I don't know if I can say this on... Schmecks. We're having a margarita taco and schmecks party. Not a smecks party, but we're having a launch party for the event. The theme is based around the book when you read the book. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. It's also very emotionally driven, very raw and realistic, but it's a lot of fun banter and
fantastic. Yeah. And how could someone get involved with that launch? Come along?
So if they want to have a look on my website, I've got all the details on my website or on my social media profile as well. I've got all the
And your website
links. is? NicoleBazley.com.
Nice and easy.
Nice and
Thank
easy.
you very much, Nicole.
Thank you.
Great to hear about your story.
Thank you.
Have you finished building your story and you're not sure which pathway to choose for publishing? The Book Reality Experience is a publishing assistance service offering partnership publishing solutions to authors. We have different pathways available and we'll recommend what we think works best for you and your story. Check out our website at www.bookreality.com for more information. Together, let's turn your book dream into a reality.
At the End of Book Festival here in Bunbury, we're about to have a chat to Nicole Bazley. You won't find her in the phone book or anything because it's a pen name. She has an alter ego created to gain the confidence to publish her first book. Use someone else's name. It's so much easier. Maybe not so much on them, but sure is on you. It's not that she doesn't think her books are worthy. She most certainly does. It's just that it's a daunting experience putting it out there. And when I said, I want to have a chat to you this morning, she said, oh, I'm so nervous. I'm thinking, why? I mean, you know, I can be a pretty nerve-wracking guy, but not that bad, surely. Nicole, thank you so much for dropping in for a chat. I know this is really hard.
Thank you for having me.
Well, your first book is called Return to Sender.
Yep.
The first thing anyone thinks of when you hear that is the Elvis song and the whole thing about in the old-fashioned snail mail when you didn't want a letter, return to sender. Is that the theory that it comes from?
It is. There is a large theme of letter writing in the book. I don't want to say too much about that because it will give away a bit of a plot twist, but there is a large theme of writing letters and them being returned.
But you do find that really interesting because you look of an age where you didn't grow up with snail mail, did you?
Do you know what? I'm going to take it as a compliment because I'm actually 40 next year, so I definitely,
No.
I definitely did grow up before the age of technology.
Okay, so you've got some experience of the whole
I do have
concept
some
of
experience in writing letters.
return
yes.
to sender. We often wanted to do that with our bills, but it never worked.
Yep.
You know, the old line about you think nobody loves you, just don't pay your bills, and you'll find out lots of people want to know about
That
you.
is now the only mail that I ever get, bills. So I wish we did still get like nice letters in the mail, to be honest.
We always get to that beginning with authors where we say, what was it that inspired you to write a book? Was it a desire to be a writer, or was there something else behind it?
So for me, I think I've always been very creative. I've loved to always write little stories, poems and songs, but never really intended to do anything with it. Return to Sender actually started as a dream. Probably about 10 years ago, I was going through this phase where I was writing my dreams in a journal. And so I had this dream.
What is
and
it with writing your dreams in journals and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was writing the dreams in a journal, and I had this dream that was seen in the book. I wrote it down, and I kind of just couldn't stop. I never actually intended to ever publish this book or do anything with it, but here we are, 10 years later.
How did you publish it? If it was never an intended publish, how did you end up publishing it?
So I wrote the sort of guise of the dream down, and then I started just continuing writing. I ended up putting it away, and I didn't look at it for about 8 years. And then really randomly, I went to this psychic, and she brought up the fact that I'd written half a story, and she told me to finish it and publish it. And so I went home and I looked at it for the first time in 7-8 years, and I finished writing the story. And then it was my husband that really convinced me to actually go through the process and publish it, because I still never intended to ever do anything with it.
So the truth is that you did the book because the psychic told you
Pretty
to?
much.
Okay.
Now, I don't recommend doing all major life choices based off psychics, but anyway,
I was going to say, for
yep,
you,
that
this
is-
has been a pretty major life choice, hasn't it?
It has. It has been a really major life choice based off something like that, but yeah, here we are.
Is the fact that you're a little bit nervous about the whole thing, was that the sole reason behind you choosing a pen name?
Yes, very much so. I feel like having the pen name gave me the confidence and this little alter ego to be able to detach from it a little bit, from my normal life, that I could get the confidence to then actually put it out there in the world.
Well, let me put it this way. Is Nicole Bazley different to the real you? Or are they really one in the
no,
same?
they're actually, I've actually, yeah, it is me. It is me. It's just, I suppose, yeah, just given me the confidence to be able to put it out there, I suppose, if that makes sense.
Is it still hard for you, or is it getting easier to put it out there?
It is getting easier, and I think it's getting easier because I've met so many amazing people on this journey, like even the readers, the support towards indie authors from readers in this scene, the support from other indie authors, from local bookstores. It's actually been an incredible experience, and so I feel like all of that is making it easier to continue to put stories out there and continue to want to do it.
Your latest book is called Return to Sender. Are we going to see more books?
Absolutely. So my second book is called Love in the After, and this comes out on January 18th. We're actually having a little bit of a launch party on Saturday the 17th of January, so I'm really excited for this one to come out as well.
See, all this stuff you're saying, well, I was really nervous, I was really scared, now I'm going to have a party.
I know, it's a bit silly, isn't it? But I do get very nervous putting the stuff out there. I am having a lot of fun with it, and I've got so many different plots for future stories, so I don't feel like you've seen the end of me yet.
Well, I'm going to say thank you.
The The excerpt I have for you today is from the book Return to Sender. The blurb on the back is, "It's hard to move on from a past you thought you would never survive, to live a life you don't believe you deserve. I tried to start fresh. I really did. I agreed to move, thinking that I would be able to leave behind the tragic events that turned my life upside down the day I lost the boy I loved. I didn't expect to actually move on. I also didn't expect to find love in the most unconventional of circumstances, with an unlikely person. Blake. His kind heart is washing away my internal fire of guilt, and his playful humour is piecing together my broken, shattered heart. But how do I truly move on when the very past I've been running from for years returns? It threatens everything Blake and I have created, forcing me to choose between the past that broke me and the man who pieced me back together. But does fate ever really give you a choice?" Interesting. Let's see what we have in the first chapter. The snippet we were sent has a very cool picture of a lady holding her hands out as if waiting to receive something. It's a black and white picture. It's very cute. 1. Love is only a feeling. Scarlet. I can feel his presence, his energy, feel his eyes boring holes into me. It is so real that I swear I can hear his voice as it fumbles over the syllables that form my name. The hairs on my neck stand up, pin prickles tickling my skin from within, goosebumps roaming my arms. I don't have to see him to know he is here. I can just tell. I know that sounds so hocus pocus, but I believe when two people suffer a trauma together, they connect in a way that cannot be explained. Almost like their souls become intertwined. They become in tune with the other's presence, feelings and emotions without a word being spoken. Bonded. Although it had always felt like this for us, from the moment I first laid eyes on him. I remember that moment, the pull as we drove down the driveway to our new home. I was just 11 years old. We had moved to town for a job my mum had taken. We locked eyes for the longest time as my mum turned the car into our new driveway. His image was burnt into my mind like a hot branding iron to skin. His eyes were the most amazing shade of green I had ever seen. Even from a distance, they shone bright, like green emeralds in the sun. He was climbing a tree in his front yard. "The neighbourhood looks nice," my mum said as she put the car in park and turned the engine off. She turned to face me with a soft smile. "I wonder if he goes to your new school," Mum continued once she had noticed what, or rather who, I was looking at. She was trying to make small talk to lighten the mood. I'd been crying the entire drive. I remember feeling nothing but misery. I didn't want to move towns, leave my school, my friends, the only home I had ever known. Yet, despite my every protest and reasoning, here we were, pulling up to our new house in a new town, where I was to start a new school the next day. In reality, it was only an hour away from our previous hometown. My mum had been offered a promotion within her aged care facility. It meant more money, but it also meant a transfer to a bigger facility in a different town. I knew that being a single mum whose partner had split at the mention of a baby being on the way, she had to make sacrifices. More money and less hours meant more time together. Just the two of us, the way it had always been. But to me, we might as well have been moving to another universe. I looked out the window and across at the house next door. The lawn was perfectly manicured in strips of light and dark grass. There were flower beds that lined the house with explosions of colourful flowers pouring out of them. A large tree in the middle of the yard. I looked at the boy now sitting on a branch in the tree that rose high above the ground. His piercing eyes were staring straight back at me. We were locked onto each other for what felt like a lifetime. I was shaken from my daze and his hypnotizing eyes by yelling coming from the house. "Finn!" A deep, dark grumble. "Finn!" Louder and more frantic. "Finn!" Almost a roar. The boy jumped off the branch, landing on the ground, and ran to his front door. A man stood in the doorway. He was tall and wide, taking up most of the entrance space. The boy stopped briefly and looked back at me, a shiver coursing down my spine. Then he squeezed past the man and ran into the house. I sat in the car staring at the front door, thinking about the question my mum had asked. Would I see the boy at school tomorrow? The boy with the long, wavy caramel hair? The boy that looked way too tall and gangly to be my age? The boy with emerald green eyes? If only I had known then what I know now. So here I stand, water drops sprinkling my skin. The sprays from Niagara Falls are raining down around me. My skin goosebumped and pinprickled. I can feel the earth shift, like my world is about to be flipped on its axis. I have been living upside down for years. Right at this moment, I can feel it. I know it's about to change. Again. So there you go. We've had a glimpse of what her main female character is like. I really enjoyed listening to the interviews with Nicole. I was hoping to talk to her on the day, but I lucked out with the seating at the event. Like she said at the end of Chris's interview though, there are many more stories in her future. I wanted to point out that if you saw the live stream, you would have noticed that there were cookies with little sayings on them at her table. If you follow Nicole on TikTok and Instagram, she mentioned her inspiration for the little treats. My key takeaways were, first, that writing is the easy part. Getting that story on paper isn't a walk in the park for anyone, but compared to bringing the book to a publishable standard and then working on the marketing, PR, sales and events, it pales in comparison. My second takeaway was how supportive and encouraging the author community has been for her. Finding people with similar interests and the same sort of drive builds friendships in a way that you rarely see in other fields. My third takeaway was her first writing tip: just do it. What were your takeaways from these interviews? If you would like to carry on the conversation with Nicole, then she has Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and Goodreads. Look for Nicole Bazley Author, all one word. All her social links are in the show notes along with her book list. In the next episode, you will hear from fellow TVD fan Kaya Thompson. If you are enjoying the show and would like to show some support, then please share these episodes with a friend. Or if you want to go the next step, you can buy us a cuppa. Head on over to ko-fi.com/findingalara. That's ko-fi.com/findingalara. There is an option for you to buy us a cup of tea for $2, or you can join the Shadow Lair for $5 a month, where you receive exclusive content and advanced information about the show. If you would like to get in touch with myself or the team at Bushland Castle Productions, then I'm on Instagram and TikTok as @FindingAlara. There is a Discord channel and Facebook group called the Finding Alara Podcast. The Bushland Castle Productions team are on Facebook, Instagram and Discord as BCP Creative. Or you can check out the website bushlandcastleproductions.com for the most up-to-date information. If you'd like to get in touch with Chris, then he's on Facebook as Chris Ilsley. And if you want to talk to Paul, then he's on Facebook as Paul van der May. And he has his own podcast, Forest.chat. The music is brought to you by @Keys of Moon Music and is called The Epic Hero. If you enjoyed listening to Finding Alara, have any questions or just want to share your world with us, then please get in touch. Until next time, keep up the search for your Alara.